Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. I know when I take a big sigh like that is a whole lot happening. But I do share life updates every so often, and I don't share a lot of personal things, but I do share some things. It has been a little rough. I have been at the helm of redesigning and the kitchen in the house, and it is a big undertaking. When the demo was done, it was very daunting to see down to the load-bearing cement walls. I mean, there was nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this the right decision? Is this what we should have done? I don't know. But quite frankly, the kitchen was falling apart. It's extremely old. And it needed to be redone to the point of being actually borderline dangerous, because the cabinets were starting to come away from the wall and starting to fall forward, meaning you could put a heavy dish in there and it could be kaput. So we had to make some decisions, and this is what it has come to be. Of course, when you start digging things up and you start to do stuff, you find that people were patching things up before us. And, being only the second owners of the home, and the home is 70 years old, nearly 70 years old, you start to see where a lot of people cut corners. The people before you cut corners and all of that. So things are being corrected, things are being updated, renovated, and basically a complete renovation. Eventually, I probably will share pictures. I've shared a couple pictures on my Facebook. My Facebook is more personal. Well, not too personal. I think there are some public things on my Facebook, but I will share eventually on Instagram. I don't think I've shared anything on Instagram yet, but I will. But, it's been the ongoing up and down. You got to choose your tiles. You have to choose your wall color. You have to choose, so many different things. And a matter of fact, me saying wall color just now is like, wow, because I have to get the contractor the wall color, which we have not settled on yet. And I have to let him know that by Monday. So really, for me, I'm going to let him know by tomorrow, which would be Sunday afternoon. It is crazy. So we are left with no kitchen. So there is no kitchen. There's no sink. The only appliance that is in the kitchen right now is the refrigerator, and the refrigerator has been fine. So we have to get very creative. Everything is out from the kitchen, the dishes, all the things that you can even imagine. Even the table that was in the kitchen is now in the dining room, and we have to sort through things to find things. And we have the microwave on top of, well, this is the old microwave. This is not even the built-in microwave, because the built-in microwave was crazy old and hasn't worked in years. And so we had another microwave that was on the table, the Eden, because it's an Eden size kitchen. And we had an older microwave that worked really well, and we had that on the table. So that's what people would use to warm stuff up if they had to use the microwave, blah, 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 blah. I also have an air fryer. So if you can even imagine, everything is stacked up in the dining room. The stove is also in the dining room. Not hooked up, but it's in the dining room, which is taking up a lot of the space. So you can't even find anything. Anything you reach for, you have to reach for with a broom. It's just testing the patience of my soul. But we've been in this for about a week now, and the project is probably going to be close to 3 weeks. They are ahead of schedule, so we may have liftoff by the end of this upcoming week. That would be amazing. But yeah. But thank God we have the fridge, and, so we got cold drinks and all that sort of stuff. But, it's very hard when you're thinking, oh, I just want to cook something and warm something up, or even just cook something, not just warm something up. But it's kind of hard to do that. And you don't want to cook raw meats from raw to cooked meat in microwaves. That's so bad. That's more of a stove thing. So even though there's a lot of frozen food that we could do, it's kind of tough. The air fryer is only but so big. It just becomes very cumbersome and crazy. But, yeah. So that is my life right now. But what I really look at is, instead of, and I've spoken about this several times, and I'm going to say it again. I don't really look at things from the aspect of why is this happening? And, the why is because the kitchen was old and it needed to be redone. That's the why. I look at, what is this trying to teach me? This is teaching me discipline. This is teaching me to go without all those conveniences. There are some people who don't even have a kitchen, who don't even have a house with a kitchen or anything to even put their stuff, So I am grateful that I have that. So I'm kind of complaining, but not complaining at the same time. First world problems, right? But it is teaching me discipline. It is teaching me that I don't always have to do things this way or that way, because we've been having to find all the alternatives. We're washing dishes in the sink in the basement. You know what I'm saying? If we really thought about it, we would have a whole bunch of plates and all that kind of stuff like that. But you know what? You don't want to have a whole bunch of paper plates and paper cups and all of that, because then that would produce a ton of garbage. And, if you have a whole bunch of paper plates and, plastic stuff, whatever, that produces a lot of garbage, and we would have a lot of garbage all the time. But now it's because of this situation, we don't really have the ton of garbage like how we did before. It's wow, we really can cut down on waste. It really can be different, because we're being so strategic about the way that we do things in the house now. So it's kind of interesting to see that dynamic. But yeah. So I just wanted to share with you guys, sometimes you're in a position that may be uncomfortable, but you may learn some things about yourself. You may be in a position that is not really where you want to be, but try to get the lesson from it. Ask yourself, okay, what's this trying to teach me? What is the lesson that I can get from this? What can I take away from this that I can take forward into my life? Because I'll tell you right now, once this whole project is done, the kitchen is going to be so streamlined. It's going to be so different than it was before. The cabinetry and everything is just going to be so completely different. The convenience of even the things that used to annoy us. If you wanted to get one thing of oregano or some type of seasoning, you had to sort through 10 bottles to get there, So, of course, all of the things that we have are going to have those convenience drawers that just pull out, where you can see everything at once and you could just grab what you want. You know what I'm saying? So instead of having the drawers that you have to dig behind, you'll now be able to slide the drawer out and see everything. These are the type of conveniences and things that make your life a little bit easier. The things that you didn't know that annoy you, that you can make those changes. So that's the thing. If you have less, you can learn how to navigate better, because we're navigating like crazy right now. completely. And anybody who has done any home renovations, you understand what that's like, especially if they're renovating a bathroom and then maybe that's the main bathroom in your house. And it's really interesting. So I don't mind this minor inconvenience, because that's really all it is. It's a minor inconvenience. We're actually going up and down steps more than we would before, because we're washing things in the basement sink, sometimes in the sink upstairs, all that sort of stuff. So it's very different, and it's we're not used to it. This is the first time we're doing any type of major things like this in the home, so it's a learning curve for sure. But our contractor is amazing, and at the end of all of this, I'll share the contractor's information and where you can contact them, and I'll share the before and after pictures, because I did extensive video and pictures of what the kitchen looked like before, and I am taking pictures every single day and doing video every single day of the progression of things. So I'm going to take all of that, and I'm going to make a really great maybe a vlog or something of that. And yeah, so we laugh. At first, the first couple of days were very, very hard. I can't even lie. There's dust everywhere. You're covering your face because, all the dust and debris, and the floor has basically been jackhammered and out of here, because it's going to be a whole brand new floor. The whole thing. The first 2 days were the hardest. The demolition days were the toughest. Those are the days that you're like, okay, I'm starting to rethink things, but by then it's too late, right? So I'm glad that this is being done. Of course, anybody who knows, when you own a home, you do any of these type of improvements, it only adds to the value of your home, which is incredible. And so that's a plus on the back end. But even God, when God, moves you a certain way and prunes you a certain way to be able to serve a certain way, it even happens at that level. You may be like, well, why do I keep running into roadblocks, and why is this necessary? Sometimes all these things are necessary to better us. So even though it's very hard to walk downstairs and look at the kitchen, and I'm literally looking at the studs in the wall, and all the electrical is hanging out, and gas lines and all that sort of stuff. It's very hard to see, and it's very hard to watch, and it seems so inconvenient, because we can't just walk down and make a cup of tea or something really simple on the stove, because the stove is literally in our dining room right now. I think to myself, man, in another week or so, 7-8 days or so, this is going to be a completely renovated space. And it's going to add to the value of the home, and it's going to add to the convenience of our life. There were so many things that was happening, drip in the ceiling that was actually the beginning of mold, and we're like, man, we had to get all of that fixed and all of that done. And thank God it was not advanced in that way. It was just one small pocket, and literally everything has been ripped out and replaced. We have brand new studs in the wall, brand new shoring up of the load bearing wall. All of that stuff is brand spanking new wood, new everything. And it's amazing how it's a metaphor of life. You can take something that's old and make it new. God does that every single day with us. He takes the old, the bad, the ugly, the unworthy, and makes it new, makes it worthy, makes it something usable for the good. I'm trying to find a great way to say it, but if God can take you and mold you from nothing to something, then what's a minor inconvenience of my kitchen for 2 weeks or 3 weeks? You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing I kind of wanted to share with you guys, that it's growing pains. This is going to add to our lives amazingly. If you guys know, I throw down in the kitchen, I cook, I do big Sunday dinners and all of that, and all I can think of is what's going to be my debut Sunday dinner, because I want my family to be able to come and enjoy and see, the improvements and benefit from it as well. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that. It was kind of a little venting, but kind of like an update as well. I feel good about it. We're past the toughest days. We're kind of in a routine now. And, the place is coming together. Drywall is up. The beginnings of the floor is now happening. So we're closer to the finish line. So, don't worry about how rough it is and all the peaks and the valleys that you go through to get to the other side. Just think of the greatness that is on the other side when you get there. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. And want to find me on social media? I will be posting soon about the updates at Onyx Queen Media. Bye, you guys.